everybody, it's Tyler here at the Lakeshore Qualifier, checking in team number 8002, the Knack out of Heartland. I'm here with Mason, Evan, and TK, and we're going to be talking about this really cool robot here. Very interesting intake we'll go through as they go, of course, into automation in the hopper, shooter, climber, and more, all coming up here on Behind the Bumpers.
Giving you a voice.
Making it loud our own way.
Welcome to the fun.
We would like to thank our friends at Stryker for supporting fun so we can continue to make content for you. Stryker makes some of the most revolutionary medical equipment and is a big supporter of FIRST and its participants. If you are looking for an internship or career that supports you being in FIRST, check out careers.stryker.com to learn more. If your team or organization is hosting an off-season event, did you know you can stream it right here on FIRST Updates Now for free? Events that stream on FIRST Updates Now receive an additional 25 to 100% additional viewership because we help you promote your event on a large platform. If you're interested, reach out to us on any of our social platforms, on Discord, or send us an email at admin@firstupdatesnow.com. Let's get your off-season event streaming on FIRST Updates Now. Hurry, dates are booking fast, and we take first come, first serve for all our events.
So starting out here, Mason, talk to me about this intake here. Very interesting design. Not quite sure. Are these licorice ropes or what are these, man? Tell me a little bit more about this.
So these are like rubberized, could be considered licorice ropes, sure. And these are used to intake the balls, like these foam balls. These are very tough yet slippery. So they're very heavy, but they're also very slippery. So very hard to grab and to intake to the robot. Sure. So if you flip this down, Ben. So these are actually spinning very fast enough to cut paper. So be very careful. So this is designed so we get extra reach for the balls that like are in the corners or stuff like that. So we don't have to like try and run them over like other teams you see getting stuck on the robot. So the idea is we intake it here and then we turn the belt off, and then we can sweep it into here. And then it'll go up into our shooter with these poly belts. And then into the shooter. And the shooter automatically recognizes that it's in there.
So how did this drop-down intake, the general concept here, how did you come up with this and use this type of material as well?
Well, we started with something like this because this was a fairly common intake and we had used that on previous designs. But then we saw that we couldn't reach and the balls were getting stuck under easily because they're super squishy foam. So then we thought we needed to create a more extendable intake, and that's when we came up with this design. So other designs we'd use mud flaps or other things like that, but those are thicker and more weight, and they can't spin as fast. And this arc here also does help. Those didn't have as much of an arc, so they weren't able to grab the ball as well. So
this intake here, by the way, the Knack, very strong FTC team as well. This is a very FTC reminiscent intake to me, so I can see that translation as it goes into. So next up, we're going to be talking about your hopper and your shooter. And that's going to be Evan talking a little bit more about that. So talk to me. I just saw some automation there. We'll see that more in a little bit. But talk to me about the hopper design as we go into the shooter.
All right, as you can see, we really like our poly belt. In the front here, we use it, and as well in the hopper and shooter. So our indexer here can hold 4 balls on the inside as well as 1 on top. The reason we have 1 on top, our 5th ball, is that if we pick up a 6, it's going to kick it right out, which is really convenient, and we do it all the time, and we don't get penalized for it. So if you want to come over here to our shooter, we actually have a very similar shooter a few years back when we were in FTC, and I forgot what the game was called, but we really like the way this arc works, and we've used these churros before. We also had a very similar setup with the flywheel, except obviously we didn't have 3 of them because it was FTC and the balls were like the size of baseballs. But we reutilize what we often call inertia wheels, which are these steel wheels. And as we shoot each ball through, it'll keep the speed of the flywheel continuing, which is really beneficial for us. And we found that out, I guess, really early in the season, which was good for us.
On the hopper here, are you using beam brakes, or what do you use to actually detect those balls coming in?
This actually would probably be a question for TK. Your ask question?
Sure. Main cut, 1, 2, starting 3, 2. So on the hopper here, we saw that the wheels or the balls get indexed a bit more on it. What is actually calculating these balls coming through. Are they beam brakes, or what kind of sensors do you have on here?
Yeah, definitely. So they're light sensors. So we've got a distance sensor that's in there, the laser ones, and the ball goes in, so it'll catch the first one. That'll automatically start the feeding until it catches the second one, and then that'll add another count to our system. We only power the first poly belt in the system because otherwise our balls were kind of climbing on top of each other, and it was screwing up the intake. So we only power the first one. It kind of forces it down just like we were loading it by hand. And then the bottom one will actually finish up, and it'll eject the balls up and into the shooter.
And lastly, just want to ask you on the shooter itself, whoever wants to grab this, for your flywheel that you have on here, do you know what the weight is of the additional weight you're putting on this?
It's fairly light. I think it's under 2 pounds for that additional weight. There's a bunch of discs that have the really high inertia mass on the outside. They were all laser cut, and we've kind of been playing in and out. It kind of changes depending on the competition, and especially this season, opposed to last season, the balls have gotten squishier as they've sat over time.
Yeah.
So you have to adjust the weights and your speeds and feeds.
Well, TK, wrap us up on the climber here, some of the concept and design that went into all this, and any iterations you might have went through as well.
So this is our second lifter that's been on this robot. Our first one was kind of a zipper lifter using cable carrier that kind of pushed together, and it wasn't durable enough. So our main focus for this one was attaching a hook to a mechanism that's just going to put the hook up in the air. The rest of the mechanism doesn't have to hold the load. That's all going to rely on the string. So if we shoot the lifter up in the air, all of our load is pulled through this string, and the whole lifter has Lexan and polycarbonate integrated into it so that it's super flexible. The lifter can take a hit, get slammed into anything, and it's never going to pop apart or bend or torque apart. And then we just use our winch down here to pull in our hook, and the rest of the system just kind of falls down at the waist side.
And lastly, you guys also look like you have a balancer for the switch as well too. Anything you want to mention in regards to this?
Yep, so this is our balancing system when we're on up against the robot. We're a lighter robot, we're only 119 pounds. So if we want to be able to balance some of the heavier bots that are pushing the weight limit, we're able to balance them out by sliding out to the side, and it also helps with triple climbs.
Well, Knack, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us about your robot and your team. Slick looking robot here, so can't wait to see how it performs here at the Lakeshore Qualifier. Good luck today.
Thank you.
We would like to thank our friends at Stryker for supporting this video. Stryker is looking for current and future FIRST alumni to join their internship program, and FIRST mentors who are looking for a great career with the company who actually supports their FIRST journey. Go to careers.stryker.com to learn more. You can also directly support Fun by joining Fun Nation. Click the join button, and just for a few bucks a month, you'll unlock special perks and directly support us so we can keep making great content. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our new videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Watch our live shows at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow, and check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.